Let's go. Some have no patience. This is the Underground World News Live. And we're back for another one. Much love. Good evening. I want to thank everyone out there that joins us and shares the stream. Kev Bar, D. White, S. Bird, Bullion, Harm, Tacos, Tooch, Fry Guy, all the crew. Much love. Thank you. And anyone else out there that shares the stream, gets it out there at places I can't reach. Thank you, Flip. Thank you, everybody, for the feedback. Minx, EFIT's Fallout Shelter, Mass Chaos, ZP, Pixie, Mayhem, Wolf Club, Boomer, Bulletproof, Bone Score. Good to see everybody. ZP, hope all is well. Bitcoin Rich, Canito, 702. We got a lot going on, man. If you need to get something to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email, or you can at me, just like D. White just did there in the chat. And I'll try my best to get back at you. And much love, as Kev Bar says there. So Lisa, Ed, Colleen, everybody out there, man. Hope all is well. Lots going on. So I'm going to start off here real quick. Of course, it's playing already, huh? An airline cancels all flights And the shutdown is leaving everyone that was planning on using them stranded. This is Silver Airways. It's apparently a regional airline based in Florida. It abruptly canceled all flights on Wednesday, June 11th, leaving travelers stranded after announcing bankruptcy. They say that they regret to inform you that we are ceasing operations as of today. The Fort Lauderdale-based company posted on social media, and they said it's basically over. I mean, this is, if they knew this was coming, there should be some kind of repercussion here, because if you knew that you were going bankrupt and you continued to book these flights all the way up to today, I could see them having to pay for some stuff here, the cost of stuff, but with what money if they're going bankrupt? So the carrier operates in Florida, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean. They say that all card purchases should be refundable through your credit card company or your travel agent. Now, that's easier said than done, for sure. Then you're just going to have to wait forever if you do, before the whole process goes through. And I do have to say that the way that money transfers these days, in this day and age, is ridiculous. It's ridiculously slow. And you should get it in an instant. You should get it quickly, like very little to no fee and all that, and be able to send it just boom, boom. Not have to wait a week. Like, for what? So, gonna keep it pushing here. Scientists identify a strange communication of non-human intelligence in Earth's oceans. That sounds pretty crazy, but this is actually connected to whales. And they say that, in a strange way, what these whales have been caught doing kind of helps SETI, which is the team looking for extraterrestrial life out there. If they're zooming in on another planet, if there's a water world and they're looking for signs of life, things like that. But they say that they believe that these rings that you see right here that are being emitted by the whales, humpback whales, is a form of communication with humans. They say that they do it. They've been observed doing this primarily when they know the humans are around, and they do it near humans, as you can see right here in this picture, like right next to them. They say they truly do believe at this point that this is a form of communication, like saying hi, what's up. It's pretty much what they're saying. And that all evidence points in that direction. They can't talk. They do give off frequency and noise, obviously, like sonar, like dolphins do underwater. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. If you ever are out in the ocean, you hear of any whales being around, or you see a ring like this, chances are somebody's saying, hey. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, with the whales, all that stuff, they are beautiful creatures. There's a lot I wish that we could go and explore on this planet before we all just are slaves and die, right? We should be able to explore all the nooks and crannies and understand all of our ancient past. But it's all kept hidden from us and out of reach. And it's miserable. Who wants to come back into this life like this? Yeah. What was this life supposed to be, I guess, anyway? I look forward to a better place after this, where we can do these things and not just the whole thing be waste. All right, an urgent update here. If you missed the video that I put out earlier, we have another East Palestine situation type deal going on in the Midwest. This is Ohio this time. This is a toxic chemical leak at this plant that is in Zaleski, Ohio. This is in like the southeastern part of Ohio. This unfolded today, and They have evacuations that took place in the immediate area. So I'm hoping and assuming anyone right there downwind from this got evacuated rather quickly. The wind, you could see this thing in the air. I'll play a clip here in a second, but this was the Austin powder plant. Toxic chemicals, and I come to find out this was an acid that was released into the atmosphere. People that know about it are like, get away from there. Like, you don't want to inhale this, obviously, or anything, or come in any kind of contact with this. But people were told they were being forced to leave their homes and businesses because of this. Can you imagine being in a situation where you're going about your daily routine, all of a sudden emergency crews roll up and they're like, you got to go, you got to go. Now, stop and think about that for a second. Are you prepared for that? Do you got a buck out bag or something that you can grab with essentials? Do you have a plan if this happens to you? I mean, look at Palisades, the fires that kicked up, same thing. Emergency crews roll up, you gotta go, gotta go. Some people have never been able to return back or would never see their home again. Are you ready for that? Do you have a plan? I would chalk up a plan, put a little bit of thought into it, especially if you're in an area where a situation like this could occur. If you live near a chemical plant or a place like this that deals with chemicals and you're downwind, I mean, pay attention to these things. The wind usually in this country blows from west to east, and in that pattern, it varies a little bit here and there, but that's how the jet stream runs and how all the weather runs. So keep that in mind anywhere you're planning on being. But again, do you have a plan for something like this? Because I know most people don't, and it's just not a good situation. Yeah. As I get info and updates on this, I'll keep relaying it. If you guys get any info, let us know or email me. And Cash Heart, thank you so much for the coffees and the support of the channel. Appreciate it to the fullest, man. To the fullest. Wish there was a way that I could give back to others. Thank you so much. Inflation, the highest in the Democrat states. So if you're feeling this out there, they say it's the highest in Democratic type states. That's how they label it. Push on this next one. Trump finally announcing a deal with China. So let's chop this up here real quick, because for stocks and for all these other things, this should be a positive. Because, it was like every time they mentioned the deal was out the window, things would go this way. Of course, when they say they've got a deal done, it goes another way. So right now, Trump's saying that they have secured a significant deal with America's biggest economic and military rival. One that deals with critical minerals here. He says that he completed this agreement with Xi Jinping. The first part of the agreement is that the U.S. will receive magnets and many necessary rare earth metals from China. And that's critical because China does produce roughly 60% of all the world's rare earth metals. They process nearly 90% of them. And that's something I've said in the past. If you're worried about all these things, like, you should build a processing plant here in the United States where we do exactly that. Never allow your enemy to take full control of something, right? I mean, it just seems rather obvious, but they don't care about that. This is a setup. Thank you, Grit. Appreciate it so much. Thank you for the super chat. This is setup. You want to sit here and tell me all this crap, new deal with China? When, remember, Trump, he said that he was going to take China on its word that it would stop sending fentanyl in here. Like, get out of here, man. You know how many people that I know in this life these drugs have killed? And I'm sick of it. And they don't care. Money for war, but can't feed the poor. It's the same old story. I don't believe none of this. It's shenanigans. It's just trying to save face and appease his base. Yeah. Save face and appease his base. That's exactly what he's doing. Let's look at the numbers here. He closed by saying there will be a 55% rate on their goods, while American products in China would face a 10% rate. Likewise, we will provide China what was agreed Chinese students the use of our facilities and our universities. This raises a bunch of eyebrows, assuming that a bunch of Chinese students or people at our universities were smuggling in pathogens and they got caught doing it. Like, you're just going to allow this? People are like, what's going on? Even his base is starting to ask questions here, which finally, I mean, is this what's going to do it? I mean, start asking questions, for crying out loud. And while you're at it, ask why they haven't done anything about all the Chinese that own property right next to our key military bases. Somebody ask them that too, because again, this is a setup. Oh yeah, and ask Homan why he hasn't gone after any groups of Chinese out there. Huh? You want to keep going? This is a setup. Straight up. Oh, yeah. Ask him why Christopher Wray said they're embedded in our water, in our power, in every bit of our infrastructure, and nobody's doing nothing about it. You want me to keep going? I can. I mean, this is ridiculous. They got everybody blinded, yet it's rather obvious and open the Chinese have set up shop in here, and everything I just said rings true. No one's saying anything about it. That's a setup to me. Ridiculous. Act like you're concerned about this and that and the other, and you say nothing about this, especially them owning land here. That Trump being Trump, he should have tore into that right out the gate, but the world's a stage, man. The nation's second largest wine and spirit distributor is leaving California. We've seen a lot of places leaving Cali. This is just the latest. They're exiting. So these places either facing like a bankruptcy type deal or having to exit and relocate and restructure and things like that. And that's what is happening here. We've seen this for a few years now. People flooding out of the area. It's what it is. Everybody's got their own battles in every state, as far as I can tell here. Amazon about to invest $20 billion into Pennsylvania, all for AI infrastructure. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of stuff coming to your neck of the woods there, PA. $20 billion. And that's for 2 data centers, what they call data center campuses. And it's going to be to boost artificial intelligence and all that, man. It's all the stuff with AI on a whole different level, man. It's insane here. So one of these AI campuses by Amazon is going to be located next to the nuclear power plant in Salem Township. Wow. Okay, so I see what they've done. Instead of building their own power plant, they've saved the money and bought a piece of property right next to the power plant, and they're going to feed off of it. They say that this plant will create 1,250 high-skilled jobs spanning engineering, cybersecurity, network operations. I bet you not. I bet you not. We already know a ton of these places, and even the AI places, they're all going to be ran by robots. And most of these AI campuses are just going to be big servers. It's going to be like a big server farm. You don't need a ton of humans for that. The construction, this and all that, yeah. But once that's over, it's over. I have a bad feeling within a year or two, people are going to find out the hard way that all these places that were promising this and that, there are going to be no jobs. It's going to happen quick. Thank you, Meat Puppet, for the coffee. So just a heads up. Hopefully there is. We'll see. We'll see. Time can tell. An update on the Genius Act. If you don't know anything about this, the Genius Act is the government's attempt to try to save the dollar in everything that's happening and about to happen. A huge event is about to happen economically, globally, designed to reset everything. In the midst of this, they don't want other countries like China or Russia leaping ahead, especially China. So what they want to do is they want to take all these stable coins that are out there. A stable coin is basically like a cryptocurrency, but it's pegged to a dollar. It doesn't move. It stays, well, it's not supposed to. I'm sure in a crazy situation it can. All of them can. But it stays right at a dollar. And they want to back it by US dollars or peg them to US dollars. And that's what they're doing by and large. That's the plan here with this Genius Act. To do so would kind of like solidify and like make sure that the dollar is used in mass still around the world. It's actually on their behalf a smart move to try to counter exactly what I just told you. The Russian or the Chinese currency from trying to do the same thing. Which they will. There will be coins out there, stable coins backed by rubles, yuan, renminbi, and that there will be. But the large part, the biggest ones, the big dogs out there, they've jumped out ahead of everyone and kind of took the lead here with the Genius Act. But it's still got to be passed all the way through. Right? So this says the Trump administration's success or failure here on this thing will determine whether the US dollar remains the global standard. Do you see where this is all going? A lot of people just they glaze over or they skip this part. They 'Or survive in the midst of all this. Now, this to me, 'House, Curious, Georgia. Hello, I'm waiting to see some 5x5s because I know it dropped because I heard a little noise. It's cutting out, no sound. Room is falling, my feed is glitching. No sound. So I just cut out like that. No audio, no sound. Five by fives? Are they back? Audio in and out, 5x5s. All right. Lost sounds, back. I want to give it a second here. I see a bunch of 5x5s coming through. Okay. Good. Just give it a second. 10 of 5x5s coming back. Thank you. All right. I will say, for being out in the middle of nowhere today, I had a chopper creeping around out there all day, like out in the distance. Now I don't use OBS no more. That might have just been an internet glitch. It said it disconnected, connected back. But then I had one go right before we went live, went directly over me, directly over top of me, out in the middle of nowhere. So, all right, yeah, thank you for the feedback, and just refresh is all I could say. Somebody please tell the rest of the chat to refresh. To clear anything up. When it comes to gold, we have Thomas Massey passing or putting a bill out here that hopefully they pass. It's a bill that will audit our gold reserves like Fort Knox, which hasn't been done in decades. So, they're mandating that the comptroller general to conduct and publish a full audit of the nation's gold reserves. And that's all of the reserves, including Fort Knox. So he introduced this on June 6th. And hopefully these guys pass this. I mean, in these bills that are by themselves out there, they take a little bit more time to get up there to vote on, but it would require a full disclosure of all gold-related transactions, such as leases, loans, anything like that, sales, swaps, everything for the past 50 years. So I'm down with that. We need something to happen. I'm going to get a refresh myself here. And a pause. All right. Now my screen, everything is working good. Yeah, you would think that this would be an annual event, right? Like, who in their right mind, like, who you're telling me all of our lives, no one's raised this question, brother? For real. You're telling me no one has ever asked this question or pressed it or anything. Like, I find it all hard to believe, man. I feel like this is like a big psyop in itself. There's like no way. There's no way. Like, no setting precedents ever cared. It's like Trump and them said what they said. They were going to go there with cameras, but they didn't. They did not do it. Instead, they've been quiet, and we've seen an influx of gold coming into the country, which raises some eyebrows. And people say, what are they doing? Filling the vaults? What are they doing here? I don't know. To me, I feel they get away with telling the public that it's gone. I just do. I mean, he gets away with everything else. I feel like they get away with this one. No one's going to do nothing, it seems. So, I don't know. We'll see. I just wanted to update and let it be known there's a bill out there now to address this. If these guys vote no or vote it down, again, we're going to have some big issues. Much love, Gary, Daly, Bluebird, Reaper. All right. 2 days ago, I believe it was 2 days ago, I put out a video, and it had a trucker saying that he delivers for Whole Foods at a warehouse or whatever, and he went in, and they were dead. No one was doing anything. And he was like, hey, guys, something's going on. And he was concerned about Baltimore area, D.C. area, and now we can see many other areas. And his hunch was correct. He thought that they were under cyber attack and that no one was saying anything. He said that there's going to be a shortage of food. And I put out the video. Of course, it got censored. But he put it out. And lo and behold, he was right. They were cyber attacked. And they came out and they admitted today they're down still. And they're going to be down till the weekend at least. It could be longer than that. I'm going to tell you, they're trying not to cause panic. But the shelves are already running empty in many different places that are fed by Whole Foods because simply the food's not coming in. It's happening. It's a real deal. It's a real deal happening. It doesn't mean that, you're going to go to your local IGA or whatever, and the shelves are going to be empty. People are going to walk in. It's going to be just fine. That's because they don't supply that store. But they do supply many other places. So it's all dependent on if your area is supplied through these people. So Whole Foods just admitting that this is the case. There's some images right there. Empty shelves. Put out a video on it. You know, others are saying, how can we, this day and age, be disrupted? The food supply be disrupted like this? And I'm going to tell you right now, China, anybody? Like, where's everybody been? You know, like, I know we get it. We say it all the time, but man. Marsha, thank you for the coffees. Low rider. We're going to ride one day, brother. Thank you so much, man, for the support. To the fullest. Thank you so much. Best way to support the channels, the coffees, and the super chats. I appreciate them to the fullest, guys. Whole Foods bites, Rosebud says. Well, you know, I don't deal with them personally where I'm at. So we're not seeing that. Yeah, and a lot of other smaller food stores are closing down. And the small places have been closing down this whole time. It's been ever since lockdowns. It was by design, like a wrecking ball. Hit farms, all the mom and pop shops have been hit. Very few have stayed afloat. But it's clear now that we're like heading toward a war with Russia. I mean, not Russia, with China. Potentially Russia. China. China is the ones that's going to take the blame for the upcoming attack. They're in for it. They've signed up for it. You know, they've got the troops here. They're the ones that are positioned to do this. The world's a stage, man. When America gets kneecapped and gets brought down, it's going to be brought down to a level to where it's going to have to share the power here globally. That's the plan. They've already said it. A multipolar world order. And that it's going to function that way. And they plan to take it digital. It's all set up. This is set up. They are going to go digital to where all of our currencies are equal, so to speak, in a global basket, that where if there's a digital renminbi or yuan or US dollar, it can all be transferred in lightning time and speed. There isn't a week to have to wait for money. Say there's a dispute and a settlement, and you got to get your money back, and I got to wait on the bank 3 days, and another bank 3 days. Like, none of that no more. It would go through lightning quick. That would be the plus side of it. The downside is that they would be tracking and tracing every single thing across the planet. That's why having a fiat option is mandatory. You have to have a fiat option. Whenever they pull that off the table, it's done. Okay, now they're doing away with the pennies here. Next is the nickels up in no time. And eventually it's just the dollars. Cost too much to print. Why? Everyone's got a digital wallet. Everyone's got this and that. Just give it by 2030 and it's all going to be in place for sure. Colleen, thank you for the coffees. Much love right back at you. God bless. All right. Seattle. They are pulling a major conference out of the area because of the rampant homelessness and the open air drug use. You know, you're just walking the dog down the street, get a big old whiff of you don't even know what. Like, I don't even know. Meth, or it could be anything far worse than that at this point. There's so many different crazy drugs on the streets. It's scary, but they're capitulating. They're shutting down. Not even having the conference there anymore. Man, it just makes me want to do a conference so bad. It's been years. Like, this is the year I should be having one. And like, it just hasn't been in the cards. I so bad want to have a meetup just to meet good people. That's all that it's about anyways. To talk about real stuff, meet good people, game plan about some stuff, talk about a few things that you wouldn't talk about on air, of course. And meet good people. That's what it's all about. So wish that I could get another one going. So let's jump into the chaos. Right on cue, I look down and Twilight says they're popping off in LA. Yeah, sure they are. So we're going to dive into it here. Rioters attacking police in multiple cities last night. So this isn't just LA. It's already spread. I put out a video warning that a nationwide bit of chaos is about to break loose. And there's a website. It's called No Kings. And on this No Kings site, which I showed on the last stream, and I can even pull it up real quick right now. This No Kings site is basically calling for people to host events in their city. They're giving you all the information. And I'm sure if you needed a few bucks, Soros and the goons, if they thought it was worth it, they would send you a few bucks because they're paying all these protesters and all this stuff. They're busting them in. It's cheaper if they can pay to get a few locals to come out, throw them a little bit less money. They ain't got to put up the housing or the hotel and all this stuff. They ain't got to bust them in, hotel, all that, and pay them. That's what Soros is willing to do all across the country. I mean, you have to be a billionaire to be able to do this, and they're doing it. It's not just Soros. It's other groups like Churla, which I exposed before, which is a taxpayer-funded operation out of California that Karen Bass is using and Newsome's using left and right. But it's not just them. It's every Democratic stronghold here that's allowing this. Any sanctuary place. That's really the strongholds here. Now, look. You can see across the country. I mean, all of these places this weekend are supposed to have these meetups. I'm talking some small town places, which I just don't even see anyone even showing up. I'm out in the boonies, in the mountains, and I'm going to drive like an hour out to the closest city by me because it's on the map, pinned just to see, because I don't believe it. And I'm going to take my strap, I'm going to take my camera, and we're going to go, and we're going to see what's going down. And just that simple. I doubt it's going to be anything. But some of these other cities are going to see it, like bigger cities, your Albuquerques, your Phoenix, Tucson's, especially the ones closer to the border, I'm going to say. Shout outs to Uncommon, man. He was going to try to have us on tonight to war game what we thought was going to happen with this. Unfortunately, I couldn't go on his live, whatever he was having tonight, because I was setting up for the show. But shout outs to Uncommon News. Would have liked to have came on there, brother. He's down here near El Paso. And I'm sure he's going to see some action. But California, Southern California, definitely going to see a lot. You could see Florida lit up. A lot of stuff up here in through New York, up into Massachusetts, all these areas. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. So they've got a list of everything here. The calls that are going to be made. All this pre-planning leading up to this weekend. There's a lot of energy being put into this. So, I wouldn't sleep on this at all at this point. If you've got a decent sized city near you, expect some kind of action this week, especially if you've seen it in the past. If you've got a city that the BLM hit in the past, almost guarantee they're coming back out this time around. So, the 14th, let me go over here and pull up my X feed. I've got some stuff here on the feed. It's worth sharing. Blow it up here. And I'm going to show you some clips here. And this is crazy. This is an LAPD helicopter taunting these dudes, saying he got their license plate and they're going to find them at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like taunting them from the helicopter.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Hide behind.
This is crazy.
Behind there, I can still see you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hide behind. Hey, that black SUV, I got got the plate. I'm coming to your house at 5 in the morning. Hey, Jim, you. Throw something else, I dare you. Throw something else, I dare you. Do it again. Do it again. Let's go.
Taunting him from the helicopter, putting a light on him. Like, I see you. Got your license plate. We're coming to your house at 5 a.m. Throw something else. I dare you. From a helicopter. The dude's not throwing anything anywhere near that helicopter. But I guess they seen somebody throw something up in the air toward it. And that's what sparked it. But yes, this is what's going on. Like something out of Grand Theft Auto. Threatening that. This is the environment, okay? Going down here to this. Denver. This was last night, so that you know. I'm just going to show you some of the places. Denver, Colorado. Shout outs to Gracie Tacos for keeping us updated what's going on in that area. Then you've got the bomb squad deployed in Chicago after unconfirmed reports of anti-ICE rioters strapped with an IED. This is downtown Atlanta, so that you know what's going on here.
He's getting it. He's getting it. Film it. Film it.
Holy shit.
Film it. He's got a cone on it.
He just threw one. They just threw one.
This is well practiced. This is a cone that they put on the smoke grenades and everything. They're putting, it's a perfect organized tactic here. You gotta be careful because of all the smoke grenades.
Yeah, they're starting to do.
But they're putting cones, the protesters are putting cones on the smoke grenades. This is what they've been taught to do by well-paid organizers like George Soros and now his son Alex Soros. The destabilization that is happening nationwide now, as you can see in Atlanta, same thing that's happening in LA, happening in Atlanta now. Quite literally because of these organizations.
Holy
And as
shit.
you can see, the protesters, they're fighting back, they're throwing fireworks directly at the police here. So we're gonna keep it going, let's go.
And NYPD in New York City.
Is this what you get paid to do?
So that's just a taste of it there. Like I said, if you've got a big city near you, expect something to go down. Let me see if they got a list here. Okay, so just last night, these are the major U.S. cities that got hit. Austin, Dallas, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Philly, Seattle, Santa Ana, California, Boston, DC, San Francisco, NYC, and Chicago. That was just last night. This thing's just getting going. Again, they are building up to a huge weekend with a lot of energy. And they may continue from there. It looks like this thing is well organized. Whenever you see this, whenever you see websites that have been put up and literally the whole country is covered, you know how much time it takes to do something like this? How much money it would take? How much organization? This is why we find on Craigslist ads for people to come and cause chaos. They've got to gather them somehow. and they're not perfect, and we bust them all the time. We've been doing this for years. I mean, you can go there to one of these places, probably sit there right before it's scheduled to start, and just keep your eyes open. You're going to see buses pull up, and you're going to see these people piling off the buses. Like, it's happening. You know what would be nice? I don't know, countering it somehow, some slick tactics. Get some people in here to just go in here and act like they're joining them. They're a part of it. But, like, you know, do some James O'Keefe type deal. And, like, get to the bottom of what's going on. You know, just a simple video of, like, being on the bus with all these people talking like, oh, I got a $500 check. I can't wait. Oh, I got $1,200. How'd you get $1,200? And they start arguing over money. You get it all on film. You see what I'm saying? It's the simple stuff like that. Something like that will show the world, obviously, that, look, you hear it all the time, but look, these dudes they're all being paid. Look, when I went to Ferguson, they were showing us the checks. They were showing us. They were being trained at a certain place. The people that I ran into, they didn't care. They told us they were getting paid, where they were getting trained. And it was woohoo for them. They were having a time of their lives because they couldn't believe that they were getting trained to go out here and cause chaos, getting away with it. If they got in trouble, they would be bailed out by the same people that were paying them insane. And it's true. It's happening. That's how this is fueled. That's why George Soros should be getting a knock on his door like yesterday, but it never happens. This place is a mafia. Do you understand that? It is a mafia. And that's why these guys like Gates and Soros sit comfortably at their homes in this country here tonight, doing whatever it is they do, plotting and scheming. And they go free because there is no real want to arrest them. They're part of the club. This is all a show. It's acting is what it is. I say it all the time. All the really good actors end up in politics because that's where they're needed. You're that good, we need you over here. That's why Schwarzenegger went into it. It's why Trump's in it. It's all that. Especially if they can gather a large base. That's all this is about, is playing the people. So if you've got a huge mass of people base around you, that works perfect. You know, so Trump obviously picked and groomed, you know, for a long time for this position in this spot. And we're in interesting times. So let's keep it pushing. A professor sends out an email encouraging the campuses to join the LA protests against ICE. So now we've got protesters gathering around professors, rallying around mayors, rallying around the governor. You tell me what leadership in there is not pushing this treason or this madness. Tell me. I'm serious. Who? Because I just gave you the top dogs. They're all pushing this. It's crazy in the open. And it's not just fueling it in like LA or whatever, but it's sending a signal to everyone else in all these other cities that it's go time. And it's what it's already done. It's already done it. Since Gavin didn't come out and he didn't try to stop anything, and they gave it the green light. I mean, everybody's come out in all these places, which emboldens these other governors to make the same steps. You know, watch out, Arizona, Katie Hobbs. Watch out any of these other Democratic areas, all around Chicago, all around NYC, as we've already seen. Texas, it seems like they're trying to pick you apart. And they've already started it in Austin. Expect it to spread to these other cities big time. Where's the people in this? Where's the people? Where's the people? Because I'm going to tell you, I've spent years going to city after city after city. Right now, it's just throw a dart. Wherever it lands, like pick one. There's going to be a little bit of chaos somewhere. I've done this for so long, covering for so many times, man. That like, even though I love the rush, I love the adrenaline rush, and I love getting out there, and there's just something about it that I I love. Call it the adrenaline rush and getting the truth and being on the front lines. It's the closest thing you're going to be to like a war type setting. So many times I've drove away from a city wishing that I could go back with an army to do it the right way. There's never no one that wants to do anything. And always, I found that out the hard way. You know, you get out here and you fight this fight all these years, and very few people step up and do anything. But when you see this chaos happening, like when I was in Ferguson, and shout outs to my guys down there, the militia guys that had my back. They watched the stream. They were like, "You're coming to Ferguson. We're going to be on the main drag. We're protecting buildings. We got guns. We're on top. We'll be looking for you. When we see you, we'll yell." I'm like, what the? I forgot about him. I got down there. All hell breaks loose. I'm sandwiched like in between chaos and cops, which is not a good spot. Gunshots start ringing out in the distance. Molotov cocktails are being thrown up on buildings. And I hear Dabu. I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And I look up and it's these guys with guns up on top, like, yeah, waving at me. And they're up there putting fires out and protecting buildings. These people lived in these buildings too. And it was nuts. It was a surreal moment. It was good to know that just cats come out of the shadows, like off the rooftops with guns. They like had my back in that crazy situation. That was like the only back I had. I kept thinking, where's the people? Where's the people? How can we get people to counter this madness? Like, we need to counter this. All I kept thinking is like, we need a crew here. We need a crew. We need like the crews I grew up with, like how we used to run the streets. Like, we need to mop them up. And it's just that simple. When I came up, we had wars. And like, I'm talking gunshots, every weapon you could think of, battles on the blocks. I came up in the hood, man. And like, I was just thinking in my mind, like, they couldn't handle that. You couldn't handle that. And it blew my mind that there wasn't nothing being done at the initial start of it in these places. I'm like, where's the gangs? Well, the gangs came out. They ended up coming out. They laid back at first, trying to, I guess, get a beat on what was going on. They helped me get out of there. I got lost and popped out of the woods, had a gun on me, because stumbling out, apartment complex out the bushes, and they all jumped back like, what are you doing? Why? One of them noticed me. Thank God again for what I do. And they got me out of there. They ran me out of there, got me back to my vehicle, around the cops, around the hood. It was all insane, man. But the gangs started to come out to get a grip on it. And there was gunshots. They come out and that was how they retaliated. They came up and they started lighting the block up. So gunshots would ring out, the whole block would scatter, but then later, everybody come back, or at least the next night, everybody be back. You know, and that happened until eventually it fades out. And it was like that in so many cities that I've covered. This time would be no different. This time should be no different. They got some new recruits this time around. Kevin, thank you. Believe in Christ, his armor. Put it on every day. Stay strong in the faith. You got that right. Think about this. This is something else that I seen when I was out there running in all these different cities. Man, I've been in so many different cities. All of a sudden, you know, when a group of people shows up somewhere and they start marching down the street, everyone that was around that was like bored, like just taking notice. All the kids in the hood, in the streets and all that are riding around on bikes, playing ball and this and that, they take notice. They take notice. And they become attracted to this. Do you see? And it's a bad thing because they just want to get into something. Like, what is this? You've never seen this before. 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, stuff. it's crazy. They end up flocking toward it, and I always see them in every city. Like some participate in it, they get sucked into it, not really even knowing what it is. That's the dangerous part. And like we need education out there. All these kids going to come out and they're there. Like I commend anyone that's down there with the bullhorn preaching truth, because there are people out there that do these things. Different people in different cities. Some people travel to many different cities. I've been to many different events, many different cities, see the same dudes showing up with their Bibles, with the bullhorns and stuff like that. So I mean, props to them. There are a couple good cats out there trying to fight the fight. There just aren't enough of us. Anyhow, keep it pushing here. This is something we're going to see accelerate in the coming days, potentially weeks. National Guard has been brought up into the mix here. And it's kind of like Newsome is like suing. He's suing. He's filing emergency restraining orders because he says they don't need the National Guard in between the feds and the protesters. It's like, no. That's not how it would be anyway. It's not like the National Guard would lift a finger against the feds. They would be on the same line as the feds. Don't get it twisted. That's how it always is. You're idiotic and you're foolish and you're lying. They try to act like they're going to come up in there and do anything. Okay, now I will give the Guard props because they've shown it to me in multiple different cities. Ferguson, Baltimore, they helped me out. The feds wouldn't. The feds are always on a rooftop peeking out. The cops are always brainwashed just to beat people down. And that's how it is. And then the Guard is sent in to like play some cleanup, this and that. When I ran into the Guard in Ferguson, they had a chance to put us away. And they didn't. They didn't. They fell back and they said, we're not doing this. They fell back. And when they fell back, cops pounced on us, threw shotguns in our face, threw me off a bridge, all this other stuff. When I was in Baltimore, the National Guard stopped their Humvee right in front of me in the street. Like on one side was like all the hood, and like on the other side was all cops. And like here come the National Guard down the street, and like all hell just broke loose. It was a war. Like a wave of bricks and bottles and rocks came from my side over toward the end because I was standing on the side with the people. And then the cops came with all their chemical stuff. They even hit my camera. I was live streaming at the time. You could see the chemical stuff hit it and like screw up the whole thing. It hit me and I couldn't see. And I went down and I was like, no way. Made my eyes burn just thinking of it. I get one eye where I can barely see, and I look up and I'm 2 feet away from a Humvee loaded with soldiers in the street, like reaching up to it. And the guy looked down. I thought he was going to reach out to me and like grab my hand, but he reached out and he hit the side of the Humvee. And he says, go, just go. They could have jumped out and sprung on us, but he didn't. They opened up a hole in the street and I ran. I followed them. I followed them down the street. They opened up a hole for like a fullback football player. So it would remind me. I just followed them until I like got off the front line and then hit the ground. Couldn't see, for like hours. It sucked, but man, I get flashbacks from all these all the times I've been in all these cities and this has happened. I don't know what it's like in LA. I haven't been there. So I can't speak on that personally. I will say this much. They always do some rounding up. They always round up some looters and some people that are causing fires. Always somebody goes to jail. It's not always everyone that deserves it. Again, the masterminds sitting in their mansions tonight across the country going untouched. But Pam Bondi's dropping the hammer, so to speak. Not dropping the Epstein files. Dropping the hammer, though. Saying that these rioters could face robbery charges under the Hobbs Act and threatening 20 years. on their heads. Of course, she talks all this big talk, and I don't want to hear none of it. I won't hear nothing out of your mouth till you produce Epstein files. Then I'll listen. I'll hear something. Maybe. They're so fraudulent. Same with Bongino and Patel. I don't want to hear nothing out of your mouths till you produce. Lying scum. What do you expect out of the feds? Some of these people out there cheering them on should be ashamed of themselves. Charges announced against the Los Angeles rioters for hurling Molotov cocktails at deputies. Now, this is different than throwing, well, rocks can be considered a deadly weapon. You know, Molotov cocktails, a deadly weapon. So they're going to hammer these guys hard. It's just crazy, man. Oh, there's Mr. A checking in. Oh, do I remember? Me and him rode up on a curb, man, DC. Oh, I'll never forget that stuff, man. Like, again, I start having flashbacks of all these places. Yes, I ran DC with Mr. A and the crew up there, getting it in. We've been all over, man. And this weekend, going back out. Like, I don't know if the cities next to me are going to be popping or have any of this crap going down, but I'm going to go find out. I have a funny feeling the ones closest to me are just going to be dead. I really don't see anyone that's going to be there. But it's going to take time for me to just get up there and check it and get back. It's several hours going to go by right there. If I hear by chance before the weekend that like one of the bigger cities, like that's hours and hours away, is popping off, we'll play it by ear. I've already said that, you know, if the window opens and the calling's there, Louisville, Lexington, those would be the two biggest cities near me. And Louisville saw it last time. Louisville, I've said this many times, we got ran out of there because they were burning the building that my hotel was connected to. And the cops just stood there. Huge line of like 100 of them. They stood there in a line, not talking, not doing nothing, just watching while they burnt down 4th Street. That was my last time I saw on 4th Street. When I left there. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that I'm like walking up in the broken glass front doors, watching these people rip cell phones out of the walls, TVs, hitting every store you can think of on the main strip in Louisville, Kentucky, and downtown, big city, going into buildings. Some of them were in there for half an hour, 45 minutes. Some I never even ever saw exit for the whole time I was up there. They went in, dudes never came out. I'm like, what the, like, I don't know. It was such madness. Then they hit the liquor store, like right as we were pulling out of there. And literally ran by. It's like, hey, man, want a bottle? I'm like, what the? Turn around and look right behind us. There's that wall of cops. And they were moving like something out of Wizard of Oz. Like, oh. That's how they were marching. Like in a line, real slow. Like they were never going to catch nobody that way. I don't know what. But they were told to do that. And I've seen the cops operate so stupid and so weird in cities that, again, it's a setup. They're giving orders to do certain things. And it's like the feds are on the rooftops watching with walkie-talkies, and they're giving the orders on what to do. That's what it is. Believe that. If you're in any big city this weekend and this pops off, guaranteed on some of the street corners, you're going to see what looks to be like Fed cars sitting there, empty, right? Where are all the feds? Well, they're on the rooftops. They're on the rooftop. In front of us there that day. Couldn't believe it. Me, Carolina May, Hoodie, Rawls, them dogs sitting there chilling like 30 feet away from me. They shoot themselves. Here. I just want to make sure it's 5x5. Maybe we are. Everything else looks good, but until I get 5x5, I'm going to take a check here. Whenever you hear, I don't know if you guys hear that little noise. It went, it tells me that it just connected back. which means that for a second it must have disconnected. But I know that I'm back now because it just told me. But I don't know how long it disconnected for there for a second. E-Fits finally coming through with the 5x5. All right, thank you, everybody. Meat Puppet, thank you. So that's how far behind it is, right there. Not too bad. Gary Daly Wayne, much love. I'll give everybody a second here. Thank you for all the feedback and the 5x5s. Money Mike, CR user, Cecil, much love. Mr. A. I mean, some of you cats have been around forever. Obviously, Mr. A. When we've been to some places, Mr. A, all across this country. All right, not bad. Everything's good. Sounds good. All right, that's what I was waiting for. Abbott is deploying the National Guard to San Antonio. And apparently, tonight, there's supposed to be a massive protest. So, if you got anybody out there in Texas that's close to any of these places, let me know. I know that Uncommon News is down there in the El Paso area. But National Guard being deployed in all these different cities. So you start seeing military rolling into your towns. Much love, Tallahassee. Martial law becomes the talk. I thought that this was interesting. Okay. This is the president of the Mexican Senate putting up an image, and the timing is not a coincidence. He is showing a picture of the old Mexico, 1830, and it shows Arizona, New Mexico, California, Nevada, all gone, like they're part of Mexico. Texas, all a part of Mexico, is what it was. He's showing this. Like, why is he telegraphing this right now when you've got the Mexican version of the BLM springing up? That's what they're calling it. Leading this whole thing along the border in the border cities. Huh? There may be more to this. I seen a clip earlier where they're training big time the cartels like extremists on the other side, ready to go to war with America. And yet we've got the military staged ready to do just that. I told you when they play the card, it's going to be nasty. Never in your life did you ever think that you were going to see war full front right here. They've done it this whole time. Trump told you on day one, declared a national emergency because of the cartels, declared them extremists and terrorists, and they've never fired a shot. They've been waiting. It's about timing with everything. Everything is set up. The stage is set. Everything is set up. Now the chaos begins here on the home front.
Yo estuve en la Torre Trump cuando decía
this little piece,
el
you can
presidente
see
electo Donald Trump estaba 16
how he
días
holds
de
this
tomar
up.
protesta por primera vez como presidente.
Reminds me of BB
Sobre
holding
el
up the thing that shows Iran's got a bomb.
Yo dije, si hacemos el muro, sí lo pagamos, pero lo hacemos con el mapa de México en 1830. Este es lo que era Estados Unidos en 1830. Y esto era parte de México, no era todo México. Si ustedes pueden ver, quizás un tercio, mínimo una cuarta parte del territorio norteamericano era parte de México hasta 1846. Fuimos despojados de estos territorios.
He was saying that at least a third of America was Mexico. And we were stripped of that in 1846, I think he just said. So he is telegraphing and showing these people that, like, you should, like, carve out your own area. That's what they're all being told. Remember, California has the 5th largest GDP in the freaking world. Like, you want to rip America in two by design and split it? Dude, this looks like the best chance they've had the entire time. BLM couldn't do it. All these other things couldn't do it in the past. But all of a sudden, where we sit right now, they may have all their ducks in a row here to push this thing full scale. It seems they have targeted all the cities again up into this weekend. Remember, BLM launched the Summer of Love, we called it whatever, And they were torching cities all over the place. Are we going to see that level? Very well could. Very well could. You can see here, the NGOs involved. Oh, and let me let you know about this. Fill you in on this. The heiress of Walmart. The heiress of Walmart. Where's her name here? Something Walton here. She has been caught taking out ads. Christy Walton. She's been caught taking out ads to promote, to push this, the No Kings right here, and to pay for it. Some of the richest people in the world, in this country, are behind this and pushing this from all these different angles. You don't think that this isn't organized? They didn't have some big meeting. They all didn't plan and plot all this. It's all just coming together spontaneously? I don't think so. This is a well-plotted, well-organized thing by some of the richest people on the planet. And again, the heiress of Walmart is pushing this. Is pushing this. And, you know, it's crazy. If I was to go to any of these smaller cities, like I'm going to try one close to me this weekend, the closest one I get to. If they were to be anywhere in town, where do you think these goons would be mounted up? It would be in Walmart's parking lot. These small towns all through the mountains and all that they got pinned on there, which I find hard to believe anyone's even going to show up. More good old boys will show up loaded. Or watching you from 1,000 feet through a scope is what happens around these mountains. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The big city and these other smaller places are different. I'm just saying, if you've got a decent sized city, and especially if it's been hit by BLM in the past, get ready. Another wave's coming. And check this out. This is kind of crazy. These self-driving Whimo cars that were lit on fire in LA left and right, they have been seen making an exodus out of LA on the highway. Mute that before I catch a copyright on it. Look at this. All these Whimos, they're on the highway, a flood of them, because they were being targeted. They're going to target something all the time, so they'll go up police cars like they normally do if the Whimos ain't there. You know, they were sitting ducks because they just weren't. They were sitting where they were sitting and didn't even realize they're getting attacked, obviously, and all this other stuff. There's no humans in them to drive off or anything else. So when they get word that they're burning all the Whimos, they call them all back. And yeah, they're all getting out of LA, getting out of the big city. That's just crazy. Seeing these lines of cars like this with no drivers in them reminds me of that Obama movie that they put out, but they were all crashing and piling up in that one. Maybe it's yet to come. In the mix of all this, Gavin Newsom's wife caught going out swanky shopping, Beverly Hills, doing all this stuff while rioters are burning everything down. Doesn't surprise me. We have the mouthpiece for the White House also coming out, throwing a few threats out there. Levitt, I'll play here just a little bit, not the whole thing, but some, so you can see what they're saying.
How are you? Good to see you all. What we have seen transpire in Los Angeles, California in recent days is shameful. Left-wing radicals waving foreign flags viciously attacked ICE and Border Patrol agents as well as Los Angeles police officers. These criminals injured police, threw rocks at police cars and officers, burned vehicles, shut down freeways, and lobbed Molotov cocktails, all because the Trump administration was removing violent criminal illegal aliens from the city. These attacks were aimed not just at law enforcement, but at American culture and society itself. Rioters burned American flags, chanted "Death to ICE," and spray-painted anti-American slogans on buildings. But President Trump will never allow mob rule to prevail in America. The most basic duty of government is to preserve law and order, and this administration embraces that sacred responsibility. Democrats like Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass shamefully failed to meet their sworn obligations to their citizens. They didn't have the courage to do the right thing and protect law-abiding Californians from rioters. That's why President Trump deployed the National Guard and mobilized Marines to end the chaos and restore law and order. The mob violence is being stomped out. The criminals responsible will be swiftly brought to justice, and the Trump administration's operations to arrest illegal aliens are continuing unabated. When the initial immigration enforcement actions took place on June 6th, Mayor Bass took to social media to say she was deeply angered by what has taken place. Mayor Bass then embarked on one of the most outrageous campaign of lies this country has ever seen from an elected official, blaming President Trump and brave law enforcement officers for the violence. She accused heroic American immigration and customs enforcement officers targeting illegal alien murderers, rapists, and pedophiles of, quote, sowing terror.
Much love, Iowa. Definitely been a minute. Much love, Steve. And yes, I see it now. So I look down, you said the comment down there, you said send in the robots. Oh my gosh. I looked down and I seen it again. What are the odds of that? As soon as I said it, Feel Free Music said AI, send the robots in. The moment I said it, and scroll up, you'll see somebody else said it beforehand. That's what I was talking about. Dude, this is how synchronicities happen with me. It's insane. It's insane. And you see them. You see them live all the time. I show you. I have to point them out when they happen. All right? So, like, that was nuts. Look down, said the words, and there it was. And it was just, it's totally random. It's how the other side communicates with me. The righteous spirit. Just like the 111s, 1111. These are the little innuendos that I get that we're on the right path. Keep on pushing. That's the sign. That's how it works with me. Just letting you know it's a real thing, a very real thing. Anyhow, I could see this happening. When you're on the front line and it gets bloody and the feds, the authorities are getting their butts kicked and they're taking losses and they don't want to roll out lethals like on camera, live TV, they're going to send in the robots. I mean, they already got a good little variety of different robots. They've got drones that they use, chemicals. They've got weapons on the drones. They've got little robots that'll roll right up to your front door, knock it down, and all this other stuff. They've got it all. They've got a whole bunch of stuff. The bigger the city, the more money on the budget, the more toys they got. A lot of them have their own APCs and all this stuff too. But in terms of the robots, I'm thinking you send in Optimus. You send Optimus in, like a gang of them. Send in 50 of them. You send 50 Optimuses into the heart of a city in a Cybertruck. And they hop out, go to strategic locations. They pull up at all these strategic locations and they deploy a tactic to kettle people, basically. They're going to show up on the outsides of where the crowd is and they're going to work their way in and they're going to kettle everybody until they have them surrounded tightly. This is what the cops do anyway, but an AI and robot, they will do it so much better. They'll be watching in real time from every camera around. From every camera around. It will be their eyes. Even the satellites watching down will be their eyes. It's insane how they can operate. And they will hunt down people. They will get these people surrounded. At first, it's going to be a combination. They'll be used and then, humans roll in. But I'm telling you, down the road, just like Terminator, there are going to be no humans rolling in nothing. It's just going to be just them unleashed. And I've said it before. What do you do if this thing, one of them, shows up at your neighborhood and gets dropped off? It will literally go house to house, killing everybody. And I don't know how anyone's going to stop it. Your bullets are not going to stop it. You got a bulldozer, something like that, sitting on the property, just try to take this thing down, pin it to the ground, or something else. You better start thinking about this. I'm dead serious. Everyone's slipping on this. For decades, they've got every patriot in this country saving bullets to fight whoever, the Red Chinese, the Russians, whoever, right? Humans. But when the enemy is no longer human, how do you beat it? That is the question going forward. The next generation's going to face this, regardless. They are going to face this. You need to get them prepped on this. Someone needs to care. Someone needs to think this out. You need to say that, look, one of these things rolls up here. Like, this is what we do. Like, you have to have a plan. You know, and there could be a bunch of things that work. There could be an EMP type device you could zap it with, fry it. Other people have said, what happens if you put water on it and fry it? And no, these things are waterproof in that sense. They're bulletproof. They're scary. They're very scary. Again, outside of hitting one with a tank or a dozer, I don't know how you stop it. Got another quick refresh there. I'm talking like you're going to have to blowing one of its legs off is going to be the initial best bet. Whatever way that is. Take a damn cannonball, blow its damn leg off. I don't know. It's going to take something big. Conventional bullets are not going to work. Maybe 50 cal. Try to mow its leg off if you got one, but not everybody's going to have one of them, and even going to be able to fire it. Yeah, there's things to think about, man. Things to think about. You know, also think tactically. All right, think about the movies. What do they do to guys that are trying to come and get them in the jungle? They'll dig a pit and they'll put a bunch of spikes in it, right? Where the guys fall into the pit and there's a bunch of spikes and it gets them, kills them. Well, you kind of do the same thing with these things to a degree, right? You could outsmart it some ways, I'm sure. You could like dig trenches that are so deep they fall into that they're not going to get out. Just that simple. They're not going to climb their way out of. It's that simple. Bury them fools. Like, I mean, there's got to be some ways people use their minds. We have to start thinking this because when they roll up on us and no one put any thought into this, people are smoked. So here is the deputy mayor of California, Ventura, giving comments about all this. I just want to throw him in the mix because you got the mayor, you got Newsome, you got this guy, all of them.
I'm Doug Halter, Deputy Mayor of the City of Ventura, and this is absolutely unconscionable what's going on. I had never thought in my life that I would be seeing this sort of disruption and this sort of terrorism attack on our citizens, on our community, on our residents, our friends, our family, our neighbors, our workers, our employers. Everything that impacts one part of our community impacts all of us. And to see this coming from our own country, the country that I was raised by my Italian grandparents to love and be so proud of, and to see this happen, it's just unconscionable. This has got to stop. We've been asking for comprehensive immigration reform for at least 30 years. Now, if he really wants to be a hero, get on it and get it done. And leave our people alone, because we will fight and we defend them. They're part of our community. They will always be a part of our community.
So all of the people that have a position of power are speaking this way to everyone there. They're literally, going against Trump in the government in this manner, to where from one side, if you didn't know any better, you would say, okay, well, yeah, it's the feds and it's the government. To hell with them. Okay? But they control both sides of everything. It's a left-right paradigm. So the senators are coming out here saying, sign the BBB. It has saved the day. We can get more cops on the street. It authorized more money for it. Well, that's a trap, because the BBB has the tyrannical AI stuff hidden within it. And they know we're hip to this now. They know full well that we're hip to this. Now they're trying to use this whole event as an excuse to hurry up and sign it. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's what they're trying to do. Beach girls. I can't help but think, seeing your name, I saw an article, and I don't have a link, but we had the founder of the Beach Boys die tonight, or today, at the age of 82. I just remember seeing that. Patrick Bet David. I don't know about some of these characters. They're tandem out, like PD, whatever his name is, Patrick Bet David here. Look, I've been doing this a long time, and when I watch new characters pop up on the scene, like PBD or whatever his name is here, a likable face, well-spoken character that you could gravitate toward. When they end up in these circles and they end up like on to regular news, it's like, how? Like, you're obviously connected to all of them. Like, some of us have been out here doing this for so long. Like, I know the circles and what it takes to even get up into this. And like, I don't know, when you fight the fight like I have for so long, and you're so censored, and then you watch someone come along, like, not knocking him all the way here, but just, for example, him, that gets no censorship, that gets no pushback, that gets pushed right to the freaking top every day in everyone's feed, all the time, all the way up to the mainstream. Make sure that they're embedded in your mind. Like, we never get that. We'd never get that. They don't want the millions of people across the country that Fox reaches to know who W7 is. Never. They'd be scared to death. It's the last thing that they ever want. Do you see how that works? Do you see how that works? When you're messing with the real? So when you see cats like him come across, got all this money, got all this, like, oh, get out of here. Just get out of here. It's how I see it. I don't trust none of you. You, Jew Peters, like any of it. Just me. Not taking away saying that he can't say something that is righteous. Of course they can. They have to. Even Jamie Waters here, or whatever. Jesse Waters. He has to say things that are attractive, just to keep people watching and things like that. But are any of them talking about arresting Soros tonight? Seems it's funny, they always stop short of that. They always talk real big, get your attention, real well spoken, good looking, dressed up in a tie and all this stuff. But man, I know how they package the shills.
They're losing their minds. It's great to be on with you here. They're losing their minds. But here's the thing. When you look at Gavin Newsom, it's very interesting how opportunistic he is and what his format is. Blame, deflect, get emotional, play politics, spin a little bit. The guy is such a gifted spinner. Here's a challenge that Californians have to be thinking about. California, this is the closest it's ever been to being red. This is the closest California has ever been to being a red state in a long time. So now, a lot of the people that voted for Trump, the independents, the libertarians, and the conservatives in California that voted for Trump, they want to see changes in California. Are you going to fall for this tactic? He's separating families and their kids and all this other stuff. He's doing all this other stuff. It's going to be interesting watching how California handles this, because if they succeed in getting everybody else emotional, we know what game they're playing. June 14th is President Trump's 79th birthday, 250-year army. got
Okay.
flagged. You got all this stuff that they're doing with America. They don't want to see any of these victories taking place. Axios article came out talking about 1,500 protests they're already planning in 50 states, funded by 100 progressive organizations, a lot of different NGOs. One of the Walton billionaires, Christy Walton, name was mentioned in New York Times. This is a $19, $20 billion type of person. A lot of this money, you hear Soros, all these other things that they're doing. They're planning this. You know what they're looking for? I hate to say this. They're looking for their next George Floyd. That is all they need. They need one person. They need one massive crisis. They have no policies. They have no good ideas. I've yet to see, I went on ChatGPT. I said, can you tell me what solutions Mayor Bass and Gavin Newsom have given to all these protesting? There is no solutions. It's meetings. It's suing Trump. Zero solutions. They have no ideas. They will lose miserably, but it's going to work on a small percentage of the populace.
Where's the call to arrest George Soros and the games? I mean, he named him. He did. He knows. They know full well who's behind it. Why is there never a call to arrest him? To go there? Like, it's never. Instead, you try to arrest these guys, but he's having dinner with them. I told you. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. The same thing with Elon saying, oh, we found trillions in waste. Trillions. They came up for weeks and weeks and weeks and told us this. Not a single person went to jail. They come out and tell the American people they found trillions and trillions being stolen. Remember all the credit card stuff? All this stuff. Not a soul has been charged. American people just keep on going. This is ridiculously insane. Thank you, John, for the coffee. This is madness. This is madness. Again, that's why I think they come out and tell you that all the gold's gone. And the people would just take it. All right, so. Is it cutting out? Cutting out? Are we good? If I see some 5x5s, I keep it pushing. That's all I'm looking for there. Waiting to see the 5x5 when I do. I will continue here. Okay, there they are. Okay. All right. All right. So we're back on track then. Q City in the house. Gary. Kathleen. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So Gavin Newsom is taunting Trump, saying, come arrest me. Come and do it, big boy. I don't know if he'll do that or not, but Homan basically says they have no intention to arrest Newsom, which is kind of different than what they've been trying to telegraph and show us. No intention of going in there. So, I wonder how long they're going to let this thing get stoked. And I guess we'll see here. Going to be really interesting to see how far this goes in other cities. All right, so I'm going to push on, cover a few other things here before the top of the hour and we close this down. Again, I'm going to keep you guys posted with what's going on in my neck of the woods. If you guys got any info, let me know, dabu7@yahoo.com. Much love to Whimo. So, China, per Kash Patel, he is saying that they are deliberately using fentanyl to kneecap the United States. Well, that's not what our president said. Your boss said. Your boss said he takes China at their word that they won't send no more. What about that, Cash? You go back to Trump and say something about that? Huh? I didn't think so. They're all crooks, establishment. And this dude, since the day I laid eyes on him, it made me sick. Just made me sick for whatever reasons. I'm sure you can see some of them now. And Dan Bongino, like the way that they did the whole thing with him, thinking they're slick, sliding him out there on live streams and building him all up, and then sliding him into this top Fed position, like right in front of him. Like, talk about a rug pull on people. Talk about buffaloing them. Like, Bongino can't even look in the camera straight. He can't even go on interviews and hold his posture correct. Patel does a little bit better job of fluidly doing it. But he's still a liar. You can see right through him. But Bongino, it's like you can see he feels all the people cussing him and like looking at him in shame. That's how I feel. I know it. I can tell. I can see it in everything. And he's just a bitch. It's just going to put it that way. A sellout. Sit there and play all the people like that. And then turn around and say that Epstein didn't kill himself. Psh, dude. All right. It speaks for itself. Oh, I dropped the B word. I'm sorry. Technically, it's not a cuss word. Female dog and he. I'm very selective with any cuss word that comes out of my mouth. Try to be anyway. Sorry if I hurt somebody's feelings with that, but it's what it is, right? It's a big boys world, and it's ran by a bunch of demons. So I just call it how I see it. I don't trust them. You won't see me over here with pom-poms, cheerleading them on. That's for damn sure. You won't see me over on X posting pictures with them, hanging out with them somewhere like it's a cool thing to do. Don't think so. I would seriously start to question people that are doing that. It was one thing to vote for Trump because it was Trump was the obvious better pick over Biden and what we were going through. That's fine. But to carry on the shenanigans like it's high school all these months later, in every single day in your feed, having something to do with the congressman or political stuff or anything like that, and always sharing that you're with these people with the feds, that's just ridiculous. Just stay away from me. I don't trust you. Why would I? Why would anybody? Sitting there rubbing elbows, hanging out with Cash, and then I'm like, get out of here. What you know around me? What you know around me? It's your type that would work, put someone like me behind bars forever, which is ultimately what they want. It's sad, man. Put a lot of faith in a lot of people out here over the years, man, just to see them bow down to the feds. I had certain, without mentioning names, I used to have certain people that were on this, that did this thing with me, went live with me all the time. And because he made a mistake and got caught up in January 6th and got a visit from the feds, he went ghost. And you know, I've never heard. He just disappeared on me one day. You know, we were live streaming, doing everything we do all the time. And then he just never got a call, never got a message. Apparently his life's continuing and all this other stuff. Just ghost. Come to find out, he's got a visit from the feds. But like, you couldn't tell me that? You could tell your people that? Like, it's a really shady game out here, man, with so many characters, man. That's why I trust nobody. Uncommon. I say that, but like, I've met good people. There are good people out there. I've met them. And that's sometimes how you got to do it. You got to meet them in the flesh. You got to look them in their eyes. You got to feel their energy. Give them a good hug. See if they're wearing a wire. I'm just kidding. It's all about the energy. It's all about energy. So people get caught up in the hype out there, and I don't know. The rock star status, I don't know, the MAGA movement, I think it is. Again, I said it before, I think some people don't call things out because they're afraid that the crowd will be mad at them. They're afraid that all these hundreds and thousands of new friends they've got, all under the banner of MAGA, will be mad at them. They won't like them no more. They won't retweet and like their post every day anymore. And that is more important to them than saving this country. Oh, it's pathetic. That's where we're at. That's why we're screwed. Talk about priorities and riding for this country. I don't know. Some people that put, I guess, all their eggs in the Trump basket, what are they going to do? They went all out. They went all in. They're going to have to suffer the repercussions of it. Honestly, the easiest way out is just to be honest and call Trump out where it deserves to be done. And if somebody says, what are you saying? Like, educate them. How hard is that? Tell them the truth. How hard is that? Then we'd see a change. We really would. It would make a difference. Meanwhile, Trump is signing off executive orders. I want to mention this one. This is on drones, flying cars, and supersonics. That's right. Supersonics. The drone stuff that we never got answers for was us. It was our government. He never said another word about it. Levitt say something about it real quick and short, just like Fort Knox, but nothing else. All it was ours. The FAA knows about it. Was all they were testing, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. They're ours. Let's rewind a little bit for a second here. What was the whole thing with the drones? What was important? What was the bullet points? Well, they were mysterious. They were flying around. Nobody was claiming them. They were rolling up on military bases, scanning them. And I think the most alarming thing is that our pilots said that they tried to chase them and they could not catch them. All right? Does everybody remember? Because this is what happened. All right? Multiple bases, multiple different pilots, helicopter pilots, and even the fighter jets. They could keep up with them. They could like be on their tail, right? But they outran them. They ran until they run out of fuel. They have to double back or they have to land to get fuel. They outrun them. And they couldn't explain this. And these are huge, huge technological things that we need to pay attention to. These are brand new technologies that they're hinting they're telling us about right in front of our face. They never. Hold on a second. I had to switch up the screen. I didn't know it changed on me. I didn't know. I didn't know it went to my image was down in the corner like that. I guess it doesn't matter, but I don't know. I feel like something huge is about to happen with technology, but on the other side of a reset, unfortunately, man. Which sucks because I'm not going to be able to participate in any of it. Yeah. And if it's all in a beast system, which I feel it's all going to be, you may get lucky and get a taste of a few of these things before the whole thing's implemented. But this is going to be a global thing, and it has to happen on the other side of an economic 9/11, as I call it, that rocks things. Rand Paul. He is one of the very few senators, my senator here in Kentucky, that has spoke out against the BBB, the big ugly bill, and the provisions in it. Now, he has been cut off and uninvited from the picnic at the White House, in which every single person, for as long as I know, is always been invited. Because he will not push the agenda on this openly. Because I'm going to tell you, not just me, but a bunch of you and others, when I reached out to him alone, that's the power of it. on social media, like it caused a little bit of a buzz. And like I could tell with all the comments that were hitting on there, like he sees it, he knows it, he feels it. He knows the issue with AI. He doesn't speak on that as loud as I would like, but what he does is he does reject the bill and say that the reason is because of the money and all this other stuff. He's got valid reasons on top of it, but I wish he would voice the AI thing louder. Although he's taking a huge hit here. Now, I'll let him kind of speak on this and explain this, but he's pretty pissed off, I guess.
From my office, and it's kind of a great time of the year in the summer. My family comes up. My son and daughter-in-law and grandson are coming up because we were going to the White House picnic, but I've just been told that I've been uninvited from the picnic. I think I'm the first senator in the history of the United States to be uninvited to the White House picnic. The White House is owned by the taxpayers. We all are members of it. Every Democrat will be invited. Every Republican will be invited, but I will be the only one disallowed to come on the grounds of the White House. I just find this incredibly petty. I mean, I have been, I think, nothing but polite to the president. I have been a intellectual opponent, a public policy opponent, and he's chosen now to uninvite me from the picnic and to say my grandson can't come to the picnic. I just the level of immaturity is beyond words. I've been here long enough that if anybody has ever followed me, I've been a critic of Obama, I've been a critic of Biden, I've been a critic of the previous Trump, but always in I think, a reasonable fashion along policy. And so they've decided they want to declare war on my family and exclude us from the White House. And I just think it's incredibly petty. And I hope someone will ask them some questions about how.
So I want to point it out because this is just some of the small things they'll do to you to pull your car, to check you when you go against the grain. Okay? And he is going against the grain on this. And they're trying to make like an example out of him in the open. That's what's happening right here. It's pretty crazy that they're bracing. I told you, it's a mafia. Where we at here? All right. Get some updates on the world scene here to close this down here tonight. Greta Thunberg here deported out of Israel by plane, and they got on here for whatever thing that she calls an estimated 546.6 kilograms of CO2 emissions because of the fire out of there in a jet. Anyhow, look, they didn't kill her. They didn't kill all the people. Like I said last time, I don't think Israel's going to be that stupid with that many people. So they kill people every day, and they don't care about that. But like a public figure like this, it would just cause massive uproar. But nothing really huge came of this. Like, I will say her doing the thing, it did get attention on the calls, which was kind of the point. And to try to get the food in there, which sucks because that didn't happen. Israel snatched them up, the boat, seized all the people, arrested them, took them to a jail, and the food never got to the people. So they at least tried to take a whole huge convoy, a flotilla of aid into Gaza, and they were intercepted, they were stopped and shut down. Isn't that screwed up? That people were just trying to take food and aid in a peaceful manner and couldn't even get it to the coastline to get intercepted out in the water. Got sprayed by a white chemical and then taken down at gunpoint. Knowing, full well they knew that this was a full, total peaceful mission. Everyone's seen it on social media and everything else. Israel's not stupid. They watched the whole thing. It just goes to show who's going to get aid in there to Palestine? It's my thing. Every single time. The last thing that I tried to show you, there were people getting killed, getting mowed down right there. It's just ridiculous. So Trump says he pressed Netanyahu to permanently end the Gaza war, saying that it should end sooner than later, like the sooner the better, and that it would help him in negotiations, nuclear negotiations with Iran and all this other stuff, which this was all before today's escalations. Oil rises as Trump says he's less confident about these nuke talks with Iran. After the Iran threat, they say they launch evacuation orders. This means dependents, non-essential staff are being told to leave the embassies in Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain. This only happens if they really feel big bombs are about to fly. It's ironic with Iraq because it's like deja vu. Man, in my life, I've sat here and I've watched all these I've watched all this, man. And thank you, Deanne, for the coffees. Much love. No, God bless. Thank you. I've watched war forever, man, and I've not just a glance, like even the first Gulf War, it was embedded in me. I never forget when I was a kid sitting in my grandmother's living room watching TV, and it was just like every aspect of it all the time. And when there was POWs and proud to be an American, all that stuff, like that was back when I was a kid, and that was like the first big war of my life that I locked into. And I'll never forget when they launched that. The sky was lit up more than the 4th of July. The bombs that were being bombs over Baghdad, all that, I'll never forget it. It is like ingrained in me. The war's changed. The elements of war have changed in ways since then, and I've watched other wars all along the way. I've watched them go in and completely dismantle Gaddafi, unfortunately murder him in the streets, and destabilize a very prosperous and righteous Libya that was going against the beast. And if there's any person that I've seen in my lifetime, in the flesh, in this lifetime, that stood a chance to go against the beast, it was Gaddafi. And they killed him. They got him. So we could argue maybe Saddam, some others, but nah. Gaddafi was solely, he was calling them out. Look at all the clips. You'll tell them by the fruits. He was the any Western crap try to brainwash you otherwise. The things they did for the people in Libya was insane. Where they were going with it, the beast had to stop it. They did. They went in and they, unfortunately, they tracked him and killed him in the streets, man. They've been trying to kill Gaddafi for decades, trying to bomb him in tents and everything else, man. He's a rider. He was a warrior. Salutes to him on the other side. Everyone else that fought this fight against the beast. Everyone that the beast has killed. All the famous people that you know that's been killed. I would say them all the time and start naming a list. Just goes on and on. It's the same beast, man. Well, Iran is definitely part of the puppet show. I've caught Iran and Israel exchanging weaponry in the past and all this other stuff. And look, we're hip to anywhere that's got a central banking system is all part of this ploy. And it's been that way. Rothschild has been in control of Russia since the Bolshevik Revolution. They've been in control of China since the days of Mao. Say it all the time. Henry Kissinger was very good friends with Xi Jinping. Was like a handler to him. Just do your damn research and homework and you'll see this and it becomes clear. You'd be like, how the hell is that possible? It's because the world's a stage, man. And then you track it back to World War I, World War II, funded by the same banking cartel. I mean, this is the roots of all this. But since none of those people ever got put away, picked off or put away. Their seeds prosper today, pushing the same old shenanigans. Because no one ever arrested J.P. Morgan Chase's seeds and his offspring or anyone else that was a part of the first Great Depression. They got away with stealing the farm from your great-grandparents, which you should be living on right now. But you're suffering in a 9-to-5, paying rent because they stole it from you. That's the truth. That's enough to go to war. Stole it from everyone. Caused the Great Depression. And we know who plotted it. It's known now. Jekyll Island, J.P. Morgan Chase, all the goons meeting, we know this. So, like, they stole from all of us. We should be able to go into a court and be like, go to J.P. Morgan and be like, look, they got like $60 trillion. Like, they owe all of us. Break us off. You see how that works? That's the truth. That's the truth. I can hear clapping from the other side. Yeah. That's right. Some cats that done lived and died. Didn't know. Oh, man. All right. Keep it going here. I got a couple more. This whole high alert is because they think Israel is going to strike Iran. If they do, expect gold or something to maybe spike. I don't know. Bitcoin traditionally, when Israel makes these strikes, it pulls back initially, but then will catch back up. You should have seen this the other day with the whole Elon Trump fiasco. The market dip was a huge V. Everything dumped out, then it quickly recovered. Something like that could happen if they strike Iran. Just expect it. Expect it. And when you got things like this, expected events, you should go over and set a short on something. If you think there's something that could potentially dump off, you could go set a short on it and make a bunch of money. You know, other people do, and these goons do. They short. It's a mechanism. You're allowed to do it. It's still legal. And like, you better get it while the getting is good. If they take away all the tools and can't give nobody a chance to do nothing. So Iran says all the U.S. bases are within their reach. This is an open threat. This means, I'm going to tell you now, if Israel strikes Iran, we're going to get hit. Like one of our bases. It could be here at home. They could put the lights out. Straight out. It could all go into motion because of Israel wanting war. And it's part of the plan, I'm telling you. The same goons were involved with 9/11, man. And we know this for a fact. Again, it's on record. It's a fact. Not some dude in a cave. Getting played by the same hand, man. I'm not. I'm sick of it. I've seen this for decades now. I'm sick of it. I've seen the same enemy behind this crap since 9/11. Same global tyrants. Problem is, our leadership's right there with it. Always has been. I was born in the belly of the beast. Iran says it's got a ton of documents showing that Israel has nuclear arms. I bet they do. And I bet they do. Because we all know Israel's got them and got the defensive weapons. And they want to say Iran can't. And Iran's like, that's garbage. If you can, we can. We got a right to defend ourselves. And that's the argument they take to the UN. And remember, the UN had an international criminal freaking warrant on Netanyahu's head. And remember, Israel overthrew the base at the top of Mount Hermon, where the Fallen landed. It's to hell with it and took the whole area over. They're doing their own thing. They done made it clear they'll dismantle the WHO, the UN, any other organization. Like, who's going to stop them at this point? Somebody tell me that. Who's going to stop them besides a higher power? That's why I say bring it. Come separate the wheat from the tare, Lord God. So let's roll to Ukraine real quick. Overnight strikes on the capital lasted 5 hours. So Russia is pounding Ukraine, pounding the crap out of it, and they're advancing. Israel transfers more U.S.-made Patriot missiles down to Ukraine. This might harm ties between the two, but the world's a stage. And don't forget, just last week, the first batch of Patriot missiles that got sent there, they got smashed. That's why they're sending more. They're going to get smashed. Why are they going to get smashed? Because Russia's hitting them with hypersonic missiles, and we can't stop them. They've not done it once. Not our baddest Patriot systems, not nothing can stop these hypersonics. Trump's trying to tout that this Golden Dome for America is going to be able to stop it all. Cruise missiles, hypersonics, all that. Prove it. Give us one test that shows that you shoot down a hypersonic. Do it. Because you ain't done it yet. In terms of the battlefields of the world and everything else, Russia's done shown us. It's like lava falling like lightning from the skies. These hypersonics, man. And that's just with conventional artillery. If they strap a freaking nuke on the tip of one of these things, it's over. You ain't even seen it yet. And I think the best odds of seeing it is in Ukraine. It's right now in the setting. They've telegraphed it. It's just waiting there to happen. The mushroom cloud from the Chinese rover pick. Okay. And Russia is talking about fully advancing all the way across the country. Straight up. Why? Because of NATO. And what is NATO and their chief saying? They want a 400% increase in Europe's air defenses and spending. These dudes are not bad. Europe, the EU, these goons, for whatever reason here on this world stage, they're pushing as hard as can be to go to war with Russia. They're going to catch a nuke for the troubles, I'm telling you. They may wipe out Moscow one day, but Moscow's not going to go down without a fight. Russia says Zelensky's refusal to compromise is going to lead to more territorial losses, meaning Russia's going to keep advancing. And what does it say here? They're at the Dnieper, and the offensive begins. They're pushing west, man. They're going to push right past Kiev, into Kiev. They're going to pummel this whole thing. And I hate to say it, like, innocent people are going to start dying in mass when the bigger cities get hit. They need to flee. They're trying to push them all the way over to a small, skinny little strip on the western part of Ukraine. And if Ukraine had any senses about them, if they even wanted to stay in existence all the way up to Kiev, they would start compromising right now. But, like, they don't trust Zelensky at all. They can't strike up a deal. Look, Trump done tried, couldn't even get it done. This is not over, man. This is super hot and probably more tense than any other point ever. A lot of these war fronts, they really are. The fact that any moment, Israel, they had jets take off the tarmac here just an hour or so ago, a couple hours ago, could strike Iran any moment, okay? Russia could get hit by a salvo we've never seen, or they could deliver one. Either way it goes, right here. And these are two huge hot war fronts on the world stage that could affect everything. We could get attacked on the back end of this because Ukraine is our proxy war and we all know it, okay? And we back Israel if they drop bombs on Iran. Everybody knows it. So who is the one fueling both fronts? Us. You don't think we're not going to get hit? That's the stupidest thing in the world. Stupidest thing in the world. You cut the head off the snake. All those countries would love to see us fall. Then add China, the big adversary, into the mix. Like, we're done. And you don't even, like, we're set up. Our own people set this up, just like Blind 11. It's a setup, is what this is. It's the only way it was possible. It's the only way you can light the thing with explosives. You get me? It's a setup. From the inside, the Chinese are here like a Trojan horse. They had 4 years to come in and go straight to the freaking property that they own. It's a setup, I'm telling you. Bigger than crap. If anything, people are going to be using them bullets for, it's going to be against these red Chinese in this country. I'm telling you now. These boys trained to kill 18, 20, 25-year-old dudes. Trying to kill by the CCP up in here, and nothing but. So China's also got a new AI war academy. They train cyber soldiers to do what? To target American infrastructure. Marinate on that for a second. Rooms and rooms full of like what you see right here of young Chinese dudes trained by the CCP. And what are they doing? All of them. They're practicing targeting our infrastructure. You know, like Whole Foods just got hit. You know, like the electric grid, the water, all these things, the banking system. There's like droves of them. They're showing you, dropping the seeds out there. There's a well-known enemy out here that wants to take us down, and they're everywhere. And if it wasn't a setup, if this was like really, I don't know, real life or whatever you want to call it, like where your government actually cared and wanted to defend this country and all this, like months ago, we would have had stories of them raiding and continuing raiding these properties, rounding up the Chinese, and it would be the top of the list. They would be doing everything in their power to replace stuff that they've got back doors in and all this. They are absolutely doing none of it. They're doing none of it. Which tells me, huge red flag, it's about to go down and someone's going to take the blame. It was all meant to be this way. We've been sold out. That's how it all happens. So they play their trump card. It is the New World Order endgame. The fall of America. And that brings me to a close for another stream here tonight. Man. So much going on. Never know what's going to be next. Don't know what we're going to wake up to tomorrow. What headlines, what attacks are going to happen overnight. Markets could be rocked. Could get rocked. Again, traditionally, some of these markets pull back whenever Israel strikes and does, because this isn't the first time they've struck Iran in the past, so that you know, with the barrage and then stopped. Again, the world's a stage, but the market will have a knee-jerk reaction, and can big time. So just be prepared. Mr. Mission Control says the sky is falling. Just for that smart ass comment, you just got your ass banned forever because you're bitch made. We come in here talking that shit. You bounced. Any hater can. Want some? Come get some. You want to see me in the flesh? Come get some. I run these streets. I ain't hard to find. I've been doing it for years. Or you could be a righteous one. Grab that camera, hit the streets. Do it the righteous way. Make moves, righteous moves with your energy. That's what it should be about. Much love. God bless to everybody out there. I love you guys. We're not promised tomorrow. One of these days, man. One of these days. All this could be down. It's going to be a weird feeling, too, if, like, the power goes down, it goes out in, like, half the country. It's like, and happy 11/11. Yeah. Much love, 11/11. It's just going to be crazy if this event goes down and, like, most of the country's down. Like, I'm live streaming and, like, there's, like the whole country's, like, out. And there's, what, like, less than a dozen people on the stream. Like, will a stream even work if all the infrastructure's down? Even if I got Starlink and I can still connect, what if the servers on the ground lose power? Then what? It's literally dead as it gets. I think about some of these things, man. I have a plan for when it all dies. Okay? It doesn't have to be an EMP at this point. I'm going to show you just warehouses full of Chinese ready to pull the switch. They're probably doing it right here in this country. It's such a setup. It's such a setup. Good luck getting your Trumpers to blame the Gentile Messiah for anything, though. Yeah, we're screwed. That's why I pray for the real Messiah to return and to fulfill prophecy, to bring the end times. I got a ticket in here to live through it. So let's get this trip going. Let's get this third temple going. Get their eunuch out there, and let's just get this thing going already. Like, I came in here for this. I mean, seriously, that's how I see it. I came in for the end time. I did. And, like, let's go. You know, like, let's get this thing popping. Like, I don't know. I can't do any of the other things that I want to do. I can't go help the homeless tonight. Pick army vets up off the street all across this country, house them, and then introduce them to youth and have them train the youth how to fight and protect. I can't do none of that. Because I got to sit here with my hands tied. Can't do nothing. So, like, I'm done with it. Like, are we going to sit here and talk? Like, I'm ready for action. There needs to be action. And if I can't provide the action, then what gives? Again, some people will come and go in this life. Others will show up late. Like, man, I wish we had some writers who go and do this. And I said, well, we were only here for decades waiting. Nobody did nothing. I've held conferences, get-togethers. I've done everything one person can freaking do to try to make something happen. And, like, as far as any other big dog out there stepping up to the plate, ain't happened. Everybody's too scared to touch it. Scared to do anything. Scared to save his country. Scared to do anything. Meet up. Get organized. Much less have some veteran patriots training the youth on how to shoot a gun and how to survive. Psh. People won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. They're too scared. Chicken shit. And that right there is why this country dies. Don't you ever forget it. Some came. Others just sat there and watched. That's a fact. A higher power is watching. And I won't have to say much when I die and my soul gets judged. I'll say this, look, hit play. You'll see what I did with my life. I tried to rally the troops. I tried to rally. I did everything I could every freaking day. Can you say the same? But someone's watching. Much love, Uncommon. I hollered at you earlier, man. I wish I could have joined you. I love you. Much love. God bless. Deanne, John, Colleen, Lowride, Marshall, Meatball, Cash Hard. Thank you. To everybody that shares the stream and joins us, much love. Much love to all the pure bloods, all the real warriors. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time. Wish the underground world is live. Much love, God bless. Thank you, Wiley. Day.